They came, they scored, they conquered, and then they blew up spectacularly. Sounds horrible, but simply not everyone can make it to the top. And truthfully, football would be a much more boring sport if everyone did. From the next Demba Ba that became the next Benteke, to Porto's Champions League hero, let's have a look at the stars who shone brightly for a few months, then disappeared without a trace. Papi Cisse, 2011 to 2012. Considering that he hit double figures in both 2014 to 2015 and 2015 to 2016, it may be unfair to call the former Newcastle striker a one-season wonder. However, there is no denying that he did not live up to those expectations he set during a romping start to life in the Premier League. Newcastle United thought they had found the next Demba Ba in Papis, only for him to get better than the original very quickly. Cisse was unbeatable in his first half of the season thanks to his instinctive play and ruthlessness in front of the net. But ever since then, he has been largely flattering to deceive. It appears as though he is continually promising a revival, but it is quite doubtful that such lofty heights will ever be achieved again. In 2016, he departed Premier League for the Chinese team Shandong Luneng, where he remained for 2 years. In 2018, he moved to the Turkish club Alanyaspor, where he was once again among the goal scorers, which inspired the Istanbul Giants Fenerbahce to bring him on board. Cisse is currently a free agent and hopes to play in the Premier League again in the future. Andy Johnson, 2004 to 2005. Andy Johnson, who played for England at the international level, was a player of Premier League clubs for a total of 9 seasons. However, he scored 41% of his goals in a single season. Yes, you heard that right. Johnson, who led the line for Crystal Palace, scored 21 goals, including 11 from the penalty spot, and was second in the race for the Golden Boot, which was won by Thierry Henry. Even though it was the best season of his entire life, it was not enough to stop the Eagles from being relegated because they finished in 18th place, which was just 1 point behind safety. Johnson finished the 2006 to 2007 season with 11 goals for Everton, but after that he seemed to lose his touch in front of goals, and his scoring touch almost completely. Mido, 2005 to 2006. Following prolific runs with Ajax, Celta Vigo and Marseille, the Egyptian forward joined Spurs on loan from Roma. However, similar to those previous campaigns, his first in English football was curtailed by injury. However, his second season saw him score 11 goals in 27 games, and he appeared destined to play a significant role in the London side attack, with players like Robbie Keane and Jermaine Defoe. However, although Spurs made his contract permanent, the striker never regained his previous form. The next season, he only managed 1 goal before being traded to Middlesbrough. Mido played in the Premier League for an additional 4 seasons in total, but only added 9 goals. Sandro Ramirez. Ramirez, a product of Barcelona's esteemed academy, bravely chose to leave La Blaugrana for Malaga in 2016, and it paid off. Only for a while. The teenage striker's first season as a regular first-team striker included 30 games, during which he contributed to 14 La Liga goals and 5 assists. This was sufficient to convince Everton to sign him the following summer for £5.2 million. He had just 1 goal all season, and after being completely forgotten, left for free in 2020. Roque Santa Cruz, 2007 to 2008. Roque Santa Cruz has only ever scored 10 or more goals in a league season once throughout his 19 seasons playing in the best division of football in England, Germany, Spain, and Mexico. He spent 8 years with Bayern Munich before moving to Blackburn Rovers for €5 million, where he gave his greatest impression of Ronaldo in his prime. Santa Cruz scored 19 goals in 37 games, placing 4th in the race for the Golden Boot, behind Cristiano Ronaldo, Fernando Torres, and Emmanuel Adebayor. The Paraguayan played in the Premier League for 3 more seasons, but he failed to score even half as many goals during those years as he did during his remarkable first season. A one-season wonder in every sense of the word. Amer Zaki, 2008 to 2009. Zaki made a great impression in England, scoring 5 goals in his first 6 games. He even had 11 goals for Wigan by Christmas, including an impressive strike against Liverpool, and at one stage he was the league's 3rd highest scorer. It appeared that Wigan had discovered a true star, Everyone anticipated that his goal-scoring prowess would continue after the new year, after being connected with a number of elite clubs. It didn't quite turn out that way though. After an international match, the Egyptian famously refused to come back to the club, scoring no goals for the remainder of the season. He had become quite insane by this point after retiring in 2015 and playing for Arab contractors on his final team. He is currently without a club and a country. Michu, 2012 to 2013. At this stage, the Spanish forgotten star Michu is synonymous with one-season wonder. Michu had a 15-goal season with Rayo Vallecano in La Liga prior to joining the Welsh team for £2 million, and he utterly demolished the league records in his first Premier League season. He finished behind Robin van Persie, Luis Suarez, Gareth Bale, and Christian Benteke in the scoring statistics with 18 goals in his first 35 games, earning himself a call-up to the Spanish national team, who were the current world champions at the time. Before joining Napoli, Michu had a second injury-plagued season in England and scored just twice in 17 games. He eventually had to retire at the age of 31 owing to a recurring ankle issue. At least we'll always have that one special season. Jose Alberto, 2003 to 2004. Next up, like others on the list, the young Brazilian appeared to have the world at his feet after helping Porto win an improbable Champions League championship. In the knockout stages, the 19-year-old started each game, and he also got the ball rolling in each championship game. But the Brazilian's performance suffered once Jose Mourinho left. Under the new manager, he was swiftly kicked out and went back to Brazil. Later, Alberto tried his luck once more in Europe with the German club Werder Bremen, but that failed miserably. In 2010, he went back to Brazil, and no one ever saw him again on European soil. Benny McCarthy, 2007. Try to picture him now. What image comes to your mind? A rather arrogant appearing fat man, we suppose, right? It wasn't always the case though. In 2006 to the 2007 season, 18 goals were gobbled up by the former South African international for Blackburn Rovers. That's 2 more than the great Cristiano Ronaldo at the time. From that point on, things became worse, and for the remainder of his career, he had trouble regaining his form. The collapse couldn't be stopped, not even by swan songs with the West Ham United or the Orlando Pirates. Between 2017 to 2019, he was the manager of Cape Town City FC. However, he was fired after 2 victories in 18 games. He currently oversees Amazulu FC. Asamoah Gyan, 2010 to 2011. When Sunderland was able to sign one of the 2010 World Cup players, Asamoah Gyan, no one could quite believe it, but they did it. The Ghanaian international made a splash, but soon lost interest and bolted for Al-Ahly, where he undoubtedly made a ton of money before joining Chinese Super League team Shanghai SIPG. With Kayserispor, he made a comeback to European football. However, in September 2019, he signed for Northeast United of the Indian Super League. He was released by Northeast United in January after suffering a season-ending injury, and the club then signed former Leeds Millwall attacker Andy Keogh in his stead. Mikel Forsell, 2003 to 2004. The Finnish attacker, or should we say the finished attacker, signed with Chelsea in 1998. But his breakthrough season came while on loan, and Forsell led the Blues to 10th place in the Premier League with 17 goals scored in 32 games, placing 5th in the Golden Boot race. His return to Stamford Bridge was unsuccessful, and he soon found himself back in Birmingham, where he was unable to recapture the magic. With those games eliminated, the remarkable season accounted for half of the Finns' career goals in the English top division. The remaining half was spread out over 96 appearances. Prior to his retirement in 2017, he played for Hanover, Leeds United, HJK, and VfL Bochum. Marcus Stewart, 2000 to 2001. In the 2000 season, Ipswich Town great Stewart contributed with a respectable 19 goals. The fact that he led his team into the UEFA Champions League final win at the time gives him some consolation, despite the fact that he regrettably did not obtain an England call-up. It was followed up by a respectable tenure with Sunderland, but the enchantment at the Tractor Boys could never be matched. He appeared to be a completely different player when he finished his career with Exeter in 2011, and not in a good way. Which one of these players do you think had the best potential? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it and also subscribe to our channel for regular football updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.